Welcome back to the next video in our PacMan video series. In this series, we're going to create things for PacMan to eat and gain points. So let's get started. Step number one is we need to create a variable called points. So I've already clicked on my variables tab over here, and you can see we've already got PacMan speed. So I'm just going to make a variable called points. And there it is. And it already automatically shows up, just in case you were curious, if you want to make them show up or not show up. And they do drag around, which is very convenient of them. Very nice that Scratch made it that way. If you don't want them to show up like PacMan speed, I don't need it to show up anymore. I changed it to 4. I'm just going to turn it off. I can always come back here and change it to something else later on. But I do want points to show up, so I'm going to leave that one checked. And let's get started with some points. So at the beginning of it, we need to create a thing that the PacMan is going to eat. So I'm going to choose an apple. That's an easy enough thing to do. It creates an apple, and now I have an apple here, and we're ready to go. So when the green flag is clicked, I want my apple to go to a specific location and be a specific size. So I'm going to go to looks, and in the looks area, way down here, it says set size to 100%. So I'm going to double click on that and change it. I think 40% should do. Let's just double click on that and see. Yep, that's much better. I want the apple to be in this location for this game. And I also am going to need a show and a hide. So before I leave the looks area, I'm just going to pull over a show and a hide. Then I'm going to go back up to my motion area, and there's my go to XY. So that location, as I said before, and you can see from the X and the Y here, that's that location on the screen is those numbers, X, whatever, Y, whatever. And then I'm going to click show. So when the beginning of the game happens, it's going to show up. And then later, when PacMan eats it, we're going to hide it. So let's create the code for the hiding. This one's a little bit more complicated, but not too complicated. So when the green flag is clicked, we are forever, where's the forever? There's forever. We are forever going to be checking if it's touching a specific thing. So we're going to sense to see if it's touching the PacMan. And if it is touching the PacMan, first thing we're going to do is hide. So it's going to go invisible. And then we're going to give it some points. So we're going to go to variable, and we're going to say change. And so when it's here, we click change, and we're going to not PacMan speed, but we're going to go to points. And I know 1 point is never enough, so let's change that to say 10. And then once we hide it, so we're going to change PacMan points by 10. And also at the beginning of the game, we do need to start at 0. So I'm just going to go to when the green flag is clicked, and I'm going to set points to 0. Set PacMan speed to 0? No, set points to 0. So at the beginning of the game, when the green flag is clicked, set points to 0. And then once the green flag is clicked, if it's touching PacMan, give it 10 points. So let's click the green flag. Let's move PacMan around. PacMan goes through the maze. PacMan touches the apple. Boom. And PacMan gets 10 points. So once you've done this, you're good to go. And next, what we're going to do is we're going to add another thing. So the easiest way to add another thing, there's 2 different ways to do it. So I'm just going to click stop for a second. The first way is you could just duplicate the apple and change the costume, and then change the location. The other choice would be to duplicate the item. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a new item. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new item. I'm going to look for the bananas. So there's the bananas. So the bananas are going to come in. I'm going to put the bananas over here. Now you'll see there's no code with the bananas. So if I go to the apple, I don't need to reset points to 0. But this code here of where to locate it, I can just drag it over to the banana, let it go. And then when I go to the banana, there's the code all ready for me. I'm just going to move it out of the way. And then the apple code for checking for PacMan, I can do the same thing with that. Drag it over to the banana. There it is. And when I go to the banana, there's that code as well. I'll just drag it out of the way. So now you can see I've got the same code as the apple. I've just dragged over the pieces that I wanted. I didn't want this piece because I only need to set points to 0 once. But the banana, what I can do here is I just need to change the location. So I'm going to change the location to there. Let's just make it a little bit smaller. That's much better. Change it to that location, and then go get the go to XY, and show. So now, if I just move this out of the way just to be silly, when I click the green flag, it automatically appears. Let's move PacMan out of the way So when I click the green flag, there are the two things. I can go over, I can grab the apple. I get 10 points for that. Yay, that worked. I can see up at the top corner, it says 10 points. And then I can go around my maze, come down here and get another 10 points for the banana. So that's how I would do it. You can go ahead and add cherries. You can add whatever other parts and pieces that you want, but that's a really easy way to create some things for PacMan to eat to get points. All right. Thanks so much for joining. We'll see you in the next video.